Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Veil background information. You may be hearing some funny noises in the background. That's because when I record I have to do it in the dining room kitchen, and usually when my family members have gone outside. So apologies for any background noises you get. There's a cat wandering around and everything today. But let's get on with this. As always, to explain what happens, as I'm supposed to do now, I'll discuss, for this creature part, I'll discuss either the information that led to me using this species or my own interpretation of this species into the story, depending, because some of them, they're a mishmash, so they don't always have clear-cut foundations. But I'll always start with a quote from one of the stories where this information is mentioned, so you get to hear a bit of one of my books. So anyway, let's get on. Today we're doing werewolves again, and this time we're talking about the pedigree or pureblood werewolf. Well, that's the thing. My husband Vance here is a pedigree werewolf to the highest degree. He can change single body parts at will, not to mention have a full transformation even onto his hind legs. He's from a line that's as old as the old Vilmore nobility, even older as the werewolves came to England with the Angles. So my darling can definitely teach this little pup exactly what it means to be a werewolf. I mean, he has to be a pedigree himself because only the purebloods are born werewolves. That's a quote from Wolfgang Viper from Non-Derogatory Puppy Love, which is one of my favourite little stories. So let's talk about pedigree werewolves in my universe. You probably won't get much in the terms of werewolf lore or mythology here because this aspect is purely created in pop culture. Whereas folklore has maintained that lycanthropy is a curse, in modern romance and indeed werewolf fiction, it's often an inherited trait with characters changing at will but forced to change and act wild under the full moon. There's this idea that they have more stability because they are aware of the curse and its meaning, and for this do better living in society. So the werewolf bloodline that is born that way is not an aspect of folklore. In this episode, then, I will just discuss the pedigree werewolves of the Vale with a simple species profile below, but right now I'll tell you the history of how they began. Unlike all other beings within the Vale, the werewolf only existed when the curse was created by wolf demons within the Vale breaking through to humanity. It was one of the curses placed upon humanity by demons that could infiltrate dreams and witness the primitive desires still present in humans. At first they would just send the humans into a frenzy, making them dream they were a ravening wolf that they feared hunting amongst a flock of sheep before learning they had killed and eaten a family member or something else. The curse, though, was something human and dealt with swiftly. They were not as scared of a human going into a frenzy as would be believed, and murder was not really as uncommon nor violence in the world at that time. But then a demon involved in transformation came up with a cruel joke. They fear the wolf, so they dream of its hunger. Why not let them be the wolf? It was decided upon a full moon, when the mind of the human was more open to the powers of the demons, that they would enact this plan, and the werewolves appeared, terrifying, wild, and the afflicted not even knowing nor the people of its community. The fear ran among them, and the demons were happy. The curse was passed on by the teeth like rabies, only passing on to other humans and impossible to break save through death. There was no cure to it, and it ran wild. However, when the first few werewolves ended up entering the Vale, they found their wild instincts coming into contact with canine shapeshifters, who could communicate with them, understand their hunger, and help them. Slowly the shapeshifters tamed beasts at night, and in the day they made friends of the humans, teaching them about the Vale and their affliction. Soon the humans began to comprehend the difference between themselves and the wolf, but they shared a mind, and with dreams becoming memories, the beast calmed as the nature of the pack took hold. Inevitably, the beings bred, and a child that was half werewolf and half shapeshifter was born, able to turn at will and control his behaviour till the new and full moons, when he would be trapped in his animal form, wanting to hunt and howl, and from this and the eventual pairing with other beings to create their werewolf children, the pedigree packs were born. However, whether pedigree cursed or enchanted, the werewolf is seen as an outsider because it is savage in its wild form and it cannot control the change. The violent nature, something only demons choose not to control. In later years, this became linked to the primal idea of the Vale, and the werewolf became a symbol of the old ways, unwanted and unliked until they were stuck on the outskirts with only one another. Then the vampires gathered them up like loyal dogs, giving them homes, purpose, and power over those that persecuted them, but always kept like working canines. They would later rebel, but remained second-class citizens of the Vale. And here's their little profile. Side, neutral. Created by demons. Created for tormenting humans. Created when? The dawn of civilization. Physical description. A normal human who has the ability to turn into a wolf at will. depending on purity of blood and strength of humanity over animalistic instincts, determines how much they can control. Abilities can turn into a wolf at will, but also under the full and new moons: strength, good healing, speed, better hearing, and excellent sense of smell. Their ability to transform denotes rank, and unable to transform outside of the moon but still smart is the lowest rank. Able to transform at any time is middle rank. Able to transform is or tell at will is a very high rank. And transforming into half beasts and standing on 2 feet, even talking and walking and wearing clothes like a human, is the highest they can be in the pedigree. They are also unique in having the ability to identify the scent of other beings, including demons, and unlike all other Valelanders, werewolves are considered human and have souls that can enter heaven, which is also a cause of resentment in the Vale. Most known for being able to transform at will. Weaknesses: forced to transform under the moon and have urge to hunt and kill that can be exploited, as well as aggressive tendencies, meaning they are common brawlers, to the point they were forced to fight in pits for betting vampires. Number: just under 20 million individuals that pedigree, but they have only slightly elevated lifespans. Well-known beings: various, but not many that are known for good reasons, i.e. birth of the pitbull of the Werewolf. Characters and stories: various, including Rokas, Tavas, and Andreas in I'll Be the Bee, which is the Christmas story this year for my Patreons, and Advance in the Vikerclan stories. Final comments. Next time we'll discuss the Cursed and Enchanted, the traditional werewolves of folklore, but you can see that these are the kind of werewolves most often preferred in paranormal fiction, because they have more control and they're easier to make as romantic partners. Anyway, thank you. Bye.